All right, another Josh cast, which I'm hesitant to do, and I forgot to do it yesterday. I apologize for the 4 people who are listening to this. But you know what? Maybe I need to stop beating myself up. Maybe I need to podcast for the sake of podcasting, man. Just podcast for the sake of podcasting. Maybe no one will hear it, you know? Maybe no one will, but the fact that you do it for the sake of doing it, it puts out energy in the universe, man. It puts out energy in the universe. And who knows who might listen to it. And maybe someone will listen to it and they'll go, you know what? I like what he's doing, so I'm going to give him $45 to produce a TikTok video that will not change anything about his life. That's entirely possible that could happen. I hate this intersection. A lot of pedestrians on this intersection. Got to be extra careful. But then again, I should always be extra careful. Bowels are not doing well today. You know why? Because I had those goldfish. Not literal goldfish that... I didn't go to a fish tank and go, rah, goldfish. The cracker things that I know always make me sick, but I still eat them because I have no self-control. So that's not doing well. The body, I'm running behind. I've been having insomnia all week. Surprisingly, the only thing that helps the insomnia is masturbation. I don't know why that... I don't know, because it's like my whole body's discombobulated. It used to be the masturbation actually woke me up. Now, I need masturbation to fall asleep. I bet you're glad you heard that this morning. Bet you're glad you know that now. My voice is very sing-songy. I don't feel like I'm being self-conscious. That's what's happening. I'm watching myself. I'm self-analyzing. I'm being self-critical. I'm overthinking. And under-trusting. You're overthinking and under-trusting, Josh. That's why you need to do the 3 T's of my comprehensive confidence program. Trust, training, and technique. And with those 3 things, trust, training, and technique, you'll find the confidence that you'll need to succeed in this world. You can't have the C without the 3 T. That almost sounds nasty. But the insomnia, it's very bizarre insomnia. I try watching an episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation, and it gets to the point where I am asleep or practically asleep, and then as soon as the episode ends, I'm awake. Like all I needed was to not hear the ba da 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 da. That wakes me back up again. Very frustrating, this insomnia. The other thing I hate about it is I say to myself, okay, well, I'll just get up then. And then I get up and I feel like a zombie. Not a fan of this insomnian. What does that even mean? So we've discussed the bowels. We've made that point. I'm driving through North Hollywood. It looks terrible. It looked bad before this. It looks awful now. Man, California's just been getting one punch after another. Starting to cool down, though. That's good. I guess. Well, they say the infections on this thing are going to spike. I'm talking to my mom yesterday. She's like, what are you going to do? I'm like, I don't know. She says, maybe you should move to Florida. They opened everything up there. That is always an option. That is certainly an option. You can do stand-up comedy down there and possibly also die. But that's the other thing, too. I read this article saying that this virus is mutating and it's able to get around the masks now. It's smarter than the average virus, apparently. Oh, and here we go. This guy just crossing the street out of nowhere. There's a crosswalk right there. Nah, I don't need that. If you're going to do that, if you're going to cross the street without using the crosswalk, you got to wait until you know you can cross instead of standing in the middle of the street with that, hey, do you mind if I impede traffic look on your face. Da! I hate it. It seems in your anger you killed her. That's impossible. She was alive. I felt it. No! Quoting from Revenge of the Sith. Quoting from Revenge of the Sith. So what was the moment right after the Emperor tells Darth Vader that he killed Padme? And the moment right after Darth Vader shouts, "No! No!" Yes, well, time to get back to work. We're building a new Death Star. I'd like you to take over that project. We're having a meeting with the developers in about 15 minutes. Think you can swing by the conference room? Oh, yes. Her death is a tragedy. But these crew personnel reports aren't going to file themselves, Lord Vader. Yeah, so that was the scene right after the scene. That's what I want to see. I tweeted this earlier this week, and I felt good about it. And after they destroyed the second Death Star, Princess Leia and Han Solo lived happily for 15 years and then separated. Because that's the new ending to Return of the Jedi. Do you think there's an alternate reality where A, there was no coronavirus, and B, they just stopped? They just did 3 Star Wars movies and went, that's good, we're good. What kind of utopia would that be? I think I can't stand with these semi-trucks park in the middle of the street. Because at any point what if the guy pops around into oncoming traffic? That irritates me beyond measure. Stop parking in the middle. But there's nowhere else for them to park, Joshua Snyder. There's nowhere else for them to park. What do you want them to do? What do you expect them to do? Can somebody plan a city so that when it grows, we're not thrown by it? Can somebody go back in time? After you kill Hitler, go to the Los Angeles Planning Committee and say, wider freeways. Just do the wider freeways now. But it's all fields. There's no one here. But they're going to be. Look at Hollywood. Look at what that is. It's sexy and glamorous and exciting. You don't think 100 years from now this is going to be a mega city? Why is this the one moment you're being humble, Los Angeles? Driving down Magnolia Boulevard. Driving down Magnolia Boulevard. Driving down Magnolia Boulevard. Seeing which businesses are gone up hard. Driving down Magnolia Boulevard. Driving down Magnolia Boulevard. Our president isn't really helping small businesses. And if he thinks he is, then he should take a drive down Magnolia Boulevard. Out of business, out of business, out of business, out of business. Furlough. Out of business, out of business, out of business. Pastry shop. Out of business, out of business, out of business. Great Depression. What did Kamala Harris say? This is the worst recession. People are comparing this recession to the Great Depression. Then perhaps it's time to stop calling it a recession and start calling it a depression. I think the only reason why it's not called a depression, I think it has something to do with the economy has to be bad for a certain amount of time, and we just haven't hit that yet. That could be what's going on. I'm not entirely sure. But I'll tell you something. I don't know how to finish this sentence. There's a news crew. This is Johnny Walker, Channel 5 News. I'm standing here today with the owner of this Ford Fiesta. And he's going to explain why trickle-down economics was not the success we thought it would be. Talk to us, Jim. Well, if you'll take a look right next to me, you'll see that I am driving a Ford Fiesta. And here's what I can tell you about this. I have no hope. Why is this called a Fiesta? Look at this car. It's the size of my hope. It's the size of my sense of self-worth. And it is called a Fiesta. How is it that 15 car designers in a room could leave that room knowing what this design was, feeling okay that it would be called a Fiesta? This is not a Ford Fiesta. This is a Ford, maybe we'll have a cup of coffee and see how it goes. That's what you call that car. Fiesta. The Ford Party. That's what you're calling it. The Ford Party. Well, it's we're marketing it to younger people, and people in college and people in their 20s, and they like to party. Yes, well, children, I'm going to give you this Ford Fiesta. College students, I'm going to give you this Ford Fiesta. Now, if you actually have a Fiesta every night, you will be driving this car for the rest of your natural life. So, if you ever want to drive a BMW or a Mercedes, I suggest you keep the Fiesta limited to the car. There's another great lesson in life. Ford Fiesta. Extremely optimistic title for that car. Well, Josh, what do you know about the actual Ford Fiesta? Other than its visual appearance. What do you really know about it? Have you read the Blue Book value of it? Have you read the J.D. Power and Associates article on it? Josh, what if somebody who designed the Ford Fiesta or named the Ford Fiesta came across your podcast and listened to it? That might hurt their feelings, Joshua. That might hurt their feelings. Have you thought about that? Have you considered that? Who are you? How many cars have you designed? How many Ford Fiestas or Ford Fiesta-like cars have you designed and put out there into the world, Joshua? How many? How many people does it take, Admiral, before it's wrong? 1,000? 500,000? 1,000,000? How many people does it take? Star Trek Insurrection quote. You don't often hear quotes from Star Trek Insurrection. But now you just did hear one. So there you have it. There you have it. There you have it. Been thinking about Star Trek Lower Decks. I watch every episode of it. I like it. It's enjoyable. I have criticisms, of course, but I don't want to go there. I have a soft spot for Star Trek. I don't expect perfection. I only expect excellence. It's a quote from my college professor. Am I still talking? Is this podcast still happening? Toyota 4Runner. 4Runner, I mean, I guess it makes sense. 4Runner. But isn't that a forebearer, forefather? Isn't that a Toyota ancestor? Toyota 4Runner. The car actually exists in 1972. Toyota 4Runner. The hell does 4Runner even mean? No clue. No clue what it means. No clue whatsoever. Toyota 4Runner, Ford Fiesta. I think that's where we'll leave this podcast.